Symes here. I've been asked quite a few times now on YouTube, on Discord, and on Facebook and stuff to actually record the process, just to help people follow along what it is I do and maybe get some hints and tips from it. So I actually thought I'd do that. I've done a bit of prep work and I've set a few things up here, but this is basically what I do when I start. Now I'm going to let you into one of my biggest secrets here, and that is how do I start with my chord progression, because that is how I want to start. I want to do a chord progression. So what do? Well, basically, if you bring up the browser here, there it is. We're going to use something called One Motion. So let's just go in here and clear this and just do Google. And in Google, it's already done it. We're going to type in One Motion, one word. And One Motion chord player. And here it comes. This is with using the browser an in-app chord progression bit of software. So basically you can match your key with the key that you're playing, and you can pick a chord, any chord, and it should play it. And you'll see that in the top up here, it'll show you where the notes are. And all you've got to do is transpose that onto whatever instrument you're playing. So you can see I've got a chord progression here. And I actually got that from the Explore tab. So if you go to Explore tab, and I think I did on number 2, so it's the second window, so let's go down. Go to the second, second window, and just go back to the top. And you'll see it's this one, Zitti E Bioni, here, and you'll see that, and you can play this. And then basically import it and just say open project, and there it is. And this is one I'm going to use. It's nice. It's just 3 chords, and it's a good chord progression for what I want to do. So how do we do that? How do we get it from here to here? Because we've picked our chords. So when you press the button on your pointer, you'll see, there we go, just roll over it. You'll see highlighted on the piano roll there the notes, and you can see that it's a low E. And then it's a B, and then it's a low, then it's sort of a high E there. So what do? We take our scale panel, we turn it up, and because we're doing the E5 chord, we want to, and we're E minor, and we've already done this, I think. Yeah, we're 110 and we're E minor. So the first thing we want to do is go back to it. Is go to the low E. So the low one, which obviously is your thumb button. It's the E. So pressing this gives me that low E there. But I also want a B as well. So I'm going to do the B, I feel, with the second one there. So if I press this and the grip button, I'm playing the E and the B, and I believe there's another E in there. Yeah, and then another E. So if we just roll over that, you can see we've got another E, which is right there. So all 3 of them. You can see that I'm using one of my patches here. You can obviously use all the presets that come with the game and stuff, but if you want to put your own patches in, then go to the modded channel on Discord and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So there's the chord. And we're going to liven that up a little bit by playing the same chord but just in a different position. I'm actually going to change that slightly because I want to be on the first position, which is the E. So I'm going to double E with the blue and with the thumb, the X button, this one. Yeah, and a trigger button is going to give me that second E, which leads me to B up here. There. So I can actually press that with the trigger button as well. Then transpose it down. So the second one, C5. You see that we got it there. So we got two C's, we got a low C and we got a high C, and we've got a G in there. Okay, so what did I say that? Yeah, two C's. So we're going on to the bass is the low C, so we're going up. We're missing the B and we're going to there. So we're going from here. So we're going. And we got two C's. So let's do the C with the blue. So we're back here. So you got the low C and the high C. And the next one is the G. So the G we're going to do with this. So that gives us our position. So there. Get rid of that a minute. So we're going from, and then we can just transpose that using the same notes down here. So we got okay, which then gives us the last one, which is the B5. Just click on that, and you'll see that we've got two B's and a G flat. Two B's and a G flat. Okay, so it gets it back up. So we've got one B is there, and we've got the second B there. So we're rolling over and it's highlighting. So we know we're going to be in the middle. The second one. We're going to be on the second position for the blue. And the G flat. G flat is going to be over here. Actually, it's too low. I want to go over here. It's there. And then we'll literally just bring that in as well. Transpose it down. So we've got and we're done. We don't need that anymore. So we've now got our chord progression that we want. So what we want to do now, or what I do now, is I play around with that chord progression, and I'll spend hours. And we're not. This is not going to be like a 40-hour video on how I do it, because that's what it would be if I actually recorded the entire process. And yeah, nobody wants to watch that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to talk to you about the fingering and the hand and finger independence, because that's really important for what the next step is. So the next step for me is to literally just play that chord progression, to just mess around with it. And I will do this for days. I will do this for hours and hours and hours and hours, finding different rhythms with the fingers and and different sequences, and bringing other things in and trying things, just playing and having fun. And I've created a beat here purely and simply just to give me some context as I'm playing, just to stop me from getting bored, really. But yeah, so the next thing we want to look at now is how do we play these new chords we just learned. So as you practice and as you're doing this, and as you practice playing the instruments, what you've got to try and develop is a hand independence. Your left hand and your right hand, just like you were playing the piano, need to be able to do separate things. Specifically the left hand, you sort of want that on autopilot so you can do melodies and stuff with your right hand. But let's talk about the fingering before we talk about the hand independence. So obviously you've got the three triggers. You've got the bass, middle, and you've got the high, and you're playing the bass with your thumb, middle with your trigger, and then the high with your trigger button, grip button, with your grip button. Now I've set this down to 16. If you wanted to, you can have on 8. But as you can see, let's bring this fella around here. I don't like playing it's with the arpeggiator on because I want to set my own rhythms. If you put the arpeggiator on, you're limited. When you've done enough practice, there's nothing that you can't do that the arpeggiator does for you. So the arpeggiator stops you doing sweeps, which you want to have in your play anyway. So we're on 8 and we want to match the tempo sync. So actually we're just not playing silent. And this is practice. You got to match the tempo and try and keep on to the 8. Like that, but I'm going to put it on 16 because I want more life to it. So what you got to try and do, you got to try and get some finger independence. You want to play a bass. But you don't want your melody to be exactly in time with the bass, otherwise it just sounds like it. You don't want that, so you have to develop some independence with your fingers. Yeah, sort of like that. So once you develop that, and you need to do that with both hands, then the whole thing just opens up for you because you can play your own, you can own bass lines with a mid-range and with a melody on top of that, and you can do it all with just the 6 fingers. You don't need an arpeggiator or anything like that, and develop a hand independence. So you can get your left hand and just with your fingers doing their independent things, and then just concentrate on what your right hand's doing. Just like that. And so this is with the process where now I'll just take all of that and I will literally just play. So this is pretty much the introduction to using one motion, which is gone now. Developing the hand independence and developing the finger independence as well. And then take your instrument and just play it create your chord progression, whether it's 3, 4, 5, or whatever, and just play it. And spend hours doing it and practicing. Another tip I have for you is there's a default size for your organ when you initiate it. Keep it. Because you're trying to develop muscle memory for positions as well. So you want to keep it the same height. You want to sort of normalize what you're playing, as if you were sitting at a piano or whatever instrument you're sitting at. With the same sizes and positions, the muscle memory is easier. So you can play, around the board without thinking, because you've got a muscle memory. Your mind tells you what you want to do, you just do it. With different sizes and different heights, that becomes more and more difficult. So yeah, to work on that. So that's pretty much what this lesson's all about. Very quick. It's not 40 hours long, and that's what you're going to do to practice. But what I'm going to do now is do what I normally do, because I'm actually going to create this track over quite a few lessons. I'm now going to practice just what, that chord progression and play with it. And that's why I've created this beat, really just to give me some context in that. So you can go and get on with your life now, or you can just stick around and listen to, however long it takes me, 10 minutes or something of me just messing around and going from there. So yeah, so this is a complete improvisation of those 3 chords, and yeah, have fun. So yeah, just do that for a few days, and yeah, you'll get used to it if you're still listening. I admire your tenacity. Yeah. So yeah, thanks.